Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In this video today, we are going to be talking about the latest patch that we had from EA and what my general thoughts on it, how to play on it, some of the things I've learned about it, and just the general, some of the tactics in that work, the general state of the game at the moment. In the background, there's just going to be a co-op game that me and Jambu played yesterday that was on this patch. So we're going to go through some of the key points that were actually in the patch that EA said they were trying to identify, trying to fix, and I'll just make some general points about it. As always, I want to hear what you guys think. Do let me know your opinions. If you can hear some background noise, that is my 2-year-old who just got in, so he's shouting dad. One of the things I want to start on, and it's for me, it's a negative of the patch, but before I get into it properly, I want to say I think this patch has ever so slightly improved the game, but nowhere near enough. That'd be my point about it. However, we're going to talk about some different parts. So, one of the negatives for me is finesses. This is not really one that I'd even be willing to debate with people. It's just a hard one for me in terms of that. I can't see anything different. This, I think finesses were fine how they were. I don't think they needed a nerf at all. People say, oh, they were going in from crazy positions. Occasionally, but for the most part, they pretty much I didn't really ever concede them. Yes, you could score them from 35 yards, but if you let someone line up a finesse from 35 yards, put zero pressure on the ball, didn't move your keeper, that was on you. I didn't really have any issue defending them. Found that I conceded one or two a weekend, if that. I scored a lot because people didn't know how to defend them, but I thought that was a skill gap issue from other people, not an issue with me, so to speak. Not an issue with finesses even. Now, what I've noticed, and this is definitely noticeable on the patch, finesses are a lot more inconsistent. They can still go in pretty well. They go in from some pretty crazy positions, but then you have one like the one you just actually saw on screen there, perfect timing, where they just sail. He greened it, and it just sailed into the keeper's hand. Sure, I'm completely fine with you need like to green it and have the finesse play style, to be able to score them, maybe even finesse plus to be consistent. But now I can hit one from 30 yards, not even 30, 25 yards from the perfect position, green it, and it'll hit the bar. And then someone can hit one non-timed from 30 yards and it goes in. This did happen slightly before, but now it's way more inconsistent. For me, an inconsistent game is not good for the esport. Are you sick to death of getting out teamed on FC24? Want that God squad you've always been dreaming of? Check out IGGM.com today, the best and most reliable place to get coins for your ultimate team. Use the link in the description and code ZEL at checkout for a 5% discount. Check out IGGM.com today, or the game in general. I don't want an inconsistent game. I want a game that's consistent. Skill gaps there when the game's more consistent. I don't want to lose a game where I've greened 3 finesses and out of nowhere my opponent's not timed one and their one went in and mine didn't. So that's a negative for me. Playing through the middle. Can you actually play through the middle now? That was a crazy pass, by the way, or cross even. Can you play through the middle? I think you can, a bit more, but it's still very reliant on gameplay. And by that I mean like how delayed the game is, are the servers okay? And for me, that is still a major issue that I see every day that I play this game. I never go a whole stream without finding at least one, generally a lot more than one, but at least one game wasn't really super delayed or to me pretty much unplayable. I find that often most games are unplayable in terms of when I say unplayable, I mean that you just can't play to your level how you want. Um, I'm finding at the moment that when I tested out the narrow, it was definitely decent in good gameplay, and bad gameplay couldn't use it, and you can't risk it, so I won't bother using it. I'm finding that the press in the middle is not quite as oppressive, that you can actually find a little bit more time on the ball, but again, in bad gameplay, it's pretty bad. But they have slightly improved that, and that's a good thing. I feel like cutbacks are even better than they were now, because the problem with cutbacks is that it's all about the wing play, and they've made it slightly harder to press on the wing. So by that, it's harder to actually stop the cutbacks. So that's a bit of a negative for the game. In the game in general feels slightly better since the update, but really I don't think it's done enough. So that's the general point about some of the main points of the update. Keepers probably seem slightly worse, but they are fairly consistent now for the most part, I'd say. Even though keepers aren't great, I don't think it's too often that I look at them and think there's just no consistency. They generally make the same saves and they don't make that. That's not. Whoops. It's not always the case. Of course, stupid stuff does happen, but I think the keepers have improved in terms of the consistency. And for me, that is an important thing for the sake of the game. You'll notice that I always talk about consistency because it's something I really value on the game. Tactics-wise, I still think on this patch the way to play 4-4-2, 4-3-2-1, 4-2-3-1, and any formation that's very similar to like 4-4-1-1. I think 5 back and 3 back slightly worse after this patch. They've been made more attacking, but a lot of their strength was in the fact that you was able to attack but still play very defensive with them. So that's been nerfed. I think the main formations that I said though there are the ones that I would be using that I actually think are pretty good. In terms of moving forward, what I'd like to see really fixed with the game, I'd like to see the servers improved. I think that would fix a lot of things straight away. I think the dribbling honestly needs a slight improvement. I think technical wasn't that OP anyway with how good Anticipate and the big centre backs are, so that getting nerfed was a bit weird. But again, a lot of it's about responsiveness. I think moving forward, I want to see more things to make the gameplay consistent. I am a little bit worried about this game for the long term of the year. I think it's in a pretty bad way already. I can't see there being many more major patches from January onwards. The EA don't tend to do that too often. I don't really want to be left with this game for the rest of the year. But yeah, at this point in the game, I'm a bit frustrated with it. I don't think the patch has gone far enough. But in terms of how you'd play on this patch, honestly, not a lot has changed. Can have some things a bit more viable, like I say, like the narrow, sure, but you're still running the risk of playing in bad gameplay and it being pretty much useless. So you need to be really careful about that. I think playstyles are super important. That's definitely something that you should be keeping an eye on. Definitely should be making sure that you are having the players with playstyles. I don't think there's any playstyles that are particularly vital in terms of you don't have them, you're screwed. I think that finesse definitely slightly nerfed after this patch. I think, what was it? Technical is slightly nerfed. I think long ball's an underrated one that more people should be using if you can get players with, especially in your midfield. But a lot of the OP ones, finesse still very good, anticipate very good, jockey very good, incisive pass is pretty good on this game. Long pass, like I said, very good. But yeah, I'm moving forward. I wouldn't be changing too drastically. You might want to tweak some things and make them slightly like be able maybe play a bit more through the middle. But it's more just rather than massive change to tactics. For the most part, I'd be trying to how would I word it? I guess trying to just be a bit more aware that you can play through the middle. It's definitely improved on this game now. Before this patch, I barely went through the middle even though I wanted to. So, like I said, that alone in itself has improved the game. Want to see more moving forward. That's my general thoughts about the game. Let me know what you guys think. If you do have any questions, please do let me know. I appreciate your support. As always, you guys watching it. Any thoughts, let me know. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.